So this is just me ranting about shit, but this idea of settler colonialism in America and land back, and I made a post on Instagram today about unwanted guests. There's this idea that white people are scared of true, liberation and justice for Black and Indigenous people because they believe that we are going to treat them the way that they treated us, right? And this idea that land back means forced removal, ironically. And the thing is it's not that there were ways of acknowledging and respecting the people whose territories you were in. If you were trying to settle or anything. And those ways, just simply went ignored, or unfollowed, or just completely, disrespected. And with the 500-year-old genocide that's been happening with Indigenous people and Indigenous cultures, here on Turtle Island, a lot of those ways have been forgotten, lost. And a lot of those ways aren't relevant to this situation. So there's got to be some kind of something, whether that's a voluntary land tax. But even then, you get into, I was speaking from my personal experience with the Mississippi Band of Tribal Indians, tribal government. It's not set up in a traditional way. It's one that is rooted in, in white supremacy, in the supplication and ingratiating of white systems and the white gaze. It's a big reason why our trans traditions are not upheld or practiced in any kind of recognized or sanctioned way, and why a lot of those practices and words have been lost to everyday modern Choctaw society. It's why our funeral practices have been suppressed and made illegal, and countless other traditions that we don't have any knowledge of because they've been suppressed and eradicated. So our tribal government, not great, very much a follows the European hierarchy. It serves the status quo, not native traditions, but European traditions. So when it comes to things like voluntary land tax, giving the tribal governments isn't always an option. When it comes to land back, giving the tribal governments isn't always an option. Because for me, land back means giving the land back to itself. Like, we Choctaw people, we're not stewards of land. We are the land. We come from the land. We are made of it. And so it's not necessarily giving it back to more governmental powers that are just going to exploit it. I'm making breakfast. Giving to organizations also isn't always an option. The easy thing is never going to be the option, right? And like, white people have to put away their suspicions and their possession and ownership of even something like money, because it's all stolen. Like, when people talk about wealth, stolen wealth, like, that doesn't mean like wealthy people. Like, the fact that it's historically easier for white people to even have jobs, even find work, period. It's historically easier for white folks to own houses, to own property, to rent property. It's easier for white people to exist, period. And it's not simply that, it's that that existence is in direct detriment to brown bodies, to indigenous bodies, to black bodies. And something has to be done. I don't know what the fuck it is. You know, I don't have any. The solutions that I come up with are not solutions people want to hear, not solutions people are going to follow. I do have a really big tendency to fall into, well, if everybody kind of thinking, and like everybody ain't gonna do shit. So like, I don't know. I think it's a call to this sort of individualism that white Americans seem to fetishize and hold above all else. You need to start doing it. You need to sacrifice. If the values of liberation and equity are important to you, if they're not, fine, whatever, you know? Like, we're probably not friends and you're probably not watching this. But it's not right. It's not right, and if you want things to change, you have to start changing. I mean, it's hard, believe me. I fucking know how hard it is to get started on that path, to continue on that path. There's, the whole phrase or trope of like trans people being magical and shit, and like trans people can be magical if we choose to be, if we choose to be. If we choose to be, we can access perspectives and magic and ways of thought and living that cis people can't. But it takes dedication, it takes sacrifice. Any kind of change, any kind of life lived in truth and examination is not going to be easy. And it shouldn't be. It should be challenging. And yeah, sometimes I wonder why I say what the fuck anything I fucking say. But I hope that these words find the hearts and minds that are willing to receive it. I hope that it's a call to action for you to make some really big, serious changes in your ways of living, in your ways of thought, and in your actions. And one thing I can promise is you won't be the only one, that I, as well, am doing my best to lead a life that is led in earnest and honesty and love and compassion. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about that.